The first question that I had for you, what was it like to find out that they didn't even want anybody else to play this role? You were the only person, the only actor that they said, and they told me this directly, that they wanted to play this role. They said you were perfect for it, that you can handle all the nuances of it. When you heard about that, how did that feel?
I've never heard of that, man. You're making me blush.
Oh, really?
That's the first time I'm hearing of this, but I feel completely honored by that. I feel much the same way about the material. When I saw it, I said to myself, I don't know if I want another actor to play this part. So I'm gonna have to jump in and do this.
It's amazing. It's interesting. This movie comes out kind of in the middle of this whole, athletes and social justice and speaking out. And, you hear a lot of other people say, oh, they should just stick to shut up and dribble and stuff like that. How important do you feel like this movie coming out in this era of sports and athletes taking their power back, and college athletes specifically, now getting, an opportunity to get paid off their likeness and image?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a big deal, man. It's a huge deal. It's incredibly topical, incredibly timely. The fact that we have this young man, LaMarcus James, who is able to use the platform that he's been given, being the biggest college superstar, to use that platform to be able to speak to something that's bigger than him, right? That's about his brothers, it's about his teammates, it's about his family. And so for me, that's sort of the guiding light in the roles I choose, is like, how can I, for one, do something that's entertaining, but, secondly, do something that's important and art that speaks to life and to culture. And I'm a huge sports fan, huge basketball fan. So when I see, people like LeBron James, who sort of ushered in this era of, athletes being able to really, really, speak on issues, and to have it be bigger than just the sport that they play, I think it's really, really important. And so, for me, it was everything to be able to embody LaMarcus during a time like this, to have such an important film come out that's not only entertaining, but again, really has something to say about the business and about sports, college sports in general.
One of the things while watching the movie I found interesting that parallels kind of real life is LaMarcus has, the power. He's, potentially the most famous college football player, number one pick. He has that power, but also now he's trying to talk to players on his team, his teammates, who maybe aren't at that level. And they're really kind of struggling with, this is, right, but I have to think about myself. When you're playing a role like that, how do you get in the mindset? Because I've talked to athletes who aren't, LeBron James, they're the 12th man on the bench, or they're the backup tight end. And they're like, I want to express myself. I want to say stuff, but I can't afford to because they'll cut me and get rid of me quickly.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's what LaMarcus realizes, right? He realizes the power that he has, that, his teammates may not be afforded. And so, I think that's why it's even more important for him to rile them up. It's about really convincing these people that this is what's best. Back in the day when Martin Luther King was speaking and Malcolm X was speaking, I'm sure there were people who were, a little bit apprehensive about some of the things that they had to say. And so, it's really about having people understand it in the way that you understand it, and making it a human issue. And so I think that was really, really important for LaMarcus to get his whole team on the same page, and for them to realize that this fight was bigger than just, him against the system. And it was about his brothers. And so we should all be in it together.
Can you tell us a little bit what it's like to work with J.K. Simmons? As far as coaching and things like that, I think we all kind of put our mindset in the mind of an athlete all the time. I think people do that just kind of like rappers and stuff like that. But the mindset of a coach in this situation where now the players are trying to take back the power, how'd you feel like he portrayed the role? And what was it like, working with, an Academy Award winning actor as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, JK he's a beast, man. I mean, there's nothing more to be said other than that. When I found out that he was going to be playing my coach, I was incredibly excited. I mean, I wish I had more scenes with him in the film, actually, because, most of the time we're sort of on opposite ends of the spectrum. But, I mean, look, he's an actor that, brings a profound intensity to set. I remember just in our, brief scenes together, just how quiet the set was. And it's not like that every day, right? But when you got some people on set that's like really doing some things, you just feel an energy shift on the set. And so, the brilliance of JK is not only being great for himself, but being able to bring out the greatness in others. And so, if anything, that's what I was grateful for. And, I hope I can do another film with him and hopefully have more scenes.
Yeah, there are a ton of actual real life, cameos from athletes and from media people. I don't know if a lot of that had to be done virtually or some of that actually had to be done on set. Were you able to meet someone that maybe you haven't met before and was like either, hey, this person is really impressive, or this is someone that I watched and now I got to meet and that's kind of cool? Like anybody kind of sit like that with you?
That's so interesting, man. As much cameos as in this film, I don't think I met any of the cameos.
I thought it was a lot of, just kind of virtual pickups.
Yeah, I don't think I met any of the cameos. I mean, I'm a big fan of a lot of the people in this film. I mean, especially like the sports guys, Steve Levy, Mike Greenberg, even Russell Wilson. But the thing is, I think that what's really great about this film is it's about perspectives. And so you're able to see the perspective of LaMarcus and Emmett, his teammate, and sort of their headspace and how they're thinking about this, but you're also able to see the perspective of his coach and the NCAA, the system. And so I don't think it hits anything on the head as far as which side you should choose, but it presents all of the options for you. And so for me, it was great when I saw the film to see all these cool actors who made up the piece. But we really spent we were on different sides of the spectrum shooting this film, and a lot of my stuff was with Emmett. And I would just kind of hear, oh, French Montana was just here, or like Jamel Hill just left, and I was like, oh man, I just missed him. So hopefully on the next one.
Absolutely. So the college football playoffs are coming up. You see, a big sports fan. Do you have a potential, favorite? I'm an Ohio State guy. I went to Ohio State, so I'm still pretty upset about Michigan. But do you have a favorite college football team, and do you have a favorite kind of going into the playoffs?
Wow. Look, I like Oklahoma. I think what Oklahoma is doing right now is great, and the young brother, the quarterback that's over there right now, making a lot of noise. But I like LSU too. I think LSU, really does damage and stuff like that. Man, I'm still petitioning for. I'm from Toronto, so I'm still petitioning for us to get a team in there.
When I think a lot of like college players, a lot of high school athletes are going to watch this movie. And like you talk about, this is all about perspective. What do you hope they get out of the movie? Young people, young athletes who, for maybe a majority of the time that they've been playing in their young life, all they think about is on the court or on the field. They don't think a bigger picture than this, and they go and watch this over the holidays. What do you hope they get, out of this, and what positive things you think that they could take with them and possibly use going forward, in their careers?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if anything, this film is going to teach them about, sort of about what's important in their lives and about their future. I think that this film is about, your future. It's about your human being. It's about who you are outside of the athlete that you are. And so I think that, if anything, my hope is that athletes who watch this film start thinking about that, start thinking about the person they are, start thinking about their brothers differently. And for me, I think that if we're able to sort of change the conversation about what's important, when you look at these athletes and address it from a sort of a human standpoint, then we've done our job. I mean, I think we still got a ways to go as far as really making sure that, these young college athletes are able to be compensated for, the millions of dollars that they bring in, the billions of dollars that they bring in. But, hopefully this just gets people thinking about it differently. Let's think about our health. Let's think about our brothers. Let's think about our family. Let's think about our future. And I think that, I think that that's my hope with this film.
Well, I really appreciate you taking out the time. It's a great film, and I think it's going to open a lot of people's eyes, and I hope it does help a lot of young people, especially young people of color, because I think they really need to know, their power going forward in this kind of new landscape that we have. And so, shout out to you, amazing job, and thank you so much, and you have a wonderful holiday.
Yes, sir. You too. Appreciate it.